everybody out there in YouTube land. So today I'm going to be doing another review of Amazon's Attack, but this time it's going to be issue number 2. This issue is from 2007. Amazon's Attack was a 6-issue mini-series written by Will Pfeiffer and penciled by Pete Woods, with colors by Brad Anderson. So I reviewed the first issue, and if you haven't seen that, look for the link to that in the description box. So just a brief warning on this comic. It contains scenes of blood and violence, so some viewer discretion is advised. Now, starting off, just on a personal note, I really like the art in this comic. I've heard some people be critical of it, but I happen to think it's really good. So Pete Woods' penciling on that is really exceptional, and I think the colors by Brad Anderson are really good too. So starting off, you have a pretty solid, well, I'd say a really solid cover of Washington Monument in the background to center everything, and Superman looks really cool flying in front of it, along with all of the other members of the JLA, so that's really awesome. This storyline has a lot of tie-ins to other comics at the time. In particular, it was taking place at the same time as Countdown to Final Crisis. So when I was reading Countdown to Final Crisis, it said see Amazon's Attack at one point, and that's what brought me to this book. So on the first page, it's a kind of a recap page, and it shows news broadcasts of the first issue and the Amazons invading and destroying Washington, D.C. On the next page, you get the fighter pilots and these planes look awesome. I really like how they look. They're drawn really well, but they're coming in and they're going to attack the Amazons. But on the bottom panel there, you can see one pilot is shot through the neck with an arrow, and on the next page, she's going down and she ejects, and her plane crashes and is burning, and even though she ejected and parachuted out, she lands, and this is really brutal. These Amazons come up to her, and they'd mostly been killing men, but I guess because she's one of the enemy soldiers, they walk up and they kill her with a spear, so that's really brutal. But then the 4 Amazons on the bottom here, it says, "Goddess, what sound? What is it? I can't." And they all fall, and on the next page you see Black Canary hit them with her power, her sound powers, and other members of the Justice League are there too. So that's really cool. You got a good team there. Superman, Hawkwoman, Black Canary, Black Lightning, who we saw in the first issue, Batman, Red Arrow, Red Tornado, and Green Lantern. So they're there now in DC helping out, and the Red Tornado and Green Lantern go to rescue survivors and put out fires, and Black Canary finds the Arrow who brought down the jet and shows it to Red Arrow, and they're really surprised. They're kind of like, what are we dealing with here? What are we up against? So they know it was the Amazons are super powered to be able to shoot down a jet with just arrows. Batman is talking to Black Lantern, and they're talking about how the Hall of Justice is still standing, but not much else in DC is. So they are talking about whether to go on a counterattack, but Batman and Superman agree that rescuing people is the first priority, and that's really cool. I like that. Batman says agreed, and Superman says agree. So they talk about the president has got taken to safety, so now they are just going to work on rescuing the civilians who are still trapped, and we get this really cool page with Green Lantern, and he picks up the statue of Thomas Jefferson, who has a civilian pinned underneath it. Next to this page, you get Sarge Steele, and he's dealing with a supervillain who's disguised as himself, and he stabs him in the hand. He's like, "Why don't you have a metal hand?" Basically, it's a tie-in to another issue. You go to the next page, and Nemesis is talking to Batman about the situation and what they're going to do, and they're talking about how that villain we saw, Everyman, took out communications, so the military is all messed up, and they went on suicide missions, essentially. And it shows another page, which is Vandenberg Air Force Base in Southern California, and it has been destroyed. It was all blown apart by something big. Dozens of planes were fueling, planes headed to help DC, and they were destroyed along with their pilots. So I assume that was the work of the Amazon, and Batman says he's going to send 2 JLA members to help, and so he sends Red Tornado and Green Lantern, and Superman asks if he should go too, but Batman thinks he should stay there. They're probably going to need him. So we go back to the National, I think they're at the Smithsonian still. The Amazons took over the Smithsonian in the first issue and set up in there. Donna Troy, Wonder Girl, gets in. She beats up 2 guards and gets in. And she confronts the Queen, who says, "Don't act surprised. Come closer so your Queen can get a look at you." And Donna Troy basically asks if there's any way they can make peace. And Hippolyta, the Queen there, says she's reasonable, so if Donna can bring Diana to her, they can all 3 together discuss terms of peace. And then we see Artemis and Philippus, and they are talking to the Queen and asking about why they attacked in California and how it was really ruthless, and usually the Amazons don't do stuff like that. They're warriors, not butchers. We get another page. It's really awesome. A lot of action. They are resuming their assault there in Washington, D.C. So you see all the Amazons and the mythical beasts and everything attacking, and the army fighting with helicopters and tanks. It's pretty hardcore. And Batman's talking to Nemesis about it. See at the bottom panel, Batman says, "I was wondering when you'd finally show up. There's something we both need to discuss." And on this page, you see it's Wonder Woman. This is a really good page. I like how Wonder Woman's drawn on this page. And he asks which side she's on, and she's kind of like, "Really? You have to ask that?" And he's like, "Yeah." So she says, "I'm standing where I've always stood, on the side of justice." And he says, "Good, we can sure use your help." Oh, wow. So yeah, everything is still going down. It's all crazy. And Superman's standing there, and all of a sudden he says, "Ma, Pa," and he just leaves. You just see a red blur. And Batman says Clark. So Batman says to Nemesis, "Superman just left. I don't know why. I hope you have news on our armed forces, and I hope it's good." Nemesis says, "It's not. It's bad news. Very bad." He says, "There's been another attack, Batman. It's Kansas. It's on fire. All of it." You see on this page, Superman has arrived, and indeed everything is burning. So that's really amazing. This is one of those series, you either really love it or you hate it. I like it a lot, but it's really intense. I kind of got goosebumps when I first read that. And Superman is just standing there, and he says, "Ma, Pa," and leaves. He knew things were going down in Kansas. So we'll have to find out in issue 3 what happened there. We'll see if Superman can save them. So I guess that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Oh, and let me know down in the comments if you've read this before, if you like this series. It's real controversial. A lot of people don't like it. I think the art is just amazing. The story is pretty interesting, but the art, to me, I really like it, and it has a lot of action. So that's all for now, and as always, thanks for watching, and if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe.
End of line.